Sorry, but how are you feeling this morning after the Giants lost last night?
I will admit, um, it hurts. I wanted them to win that game. I was excited for them, but it hurts a little less not having played in the game, both physically, not taking the hits, and just emotionally as well. As a player, you put so much time and effort and preparation and hard work into that week, and the losses hurt. They really hurt. As a fan, you can move on with your day a little bit easier. I know I don't have to sit in meetings and watch the film and watch the bad, the mistakes and what we're going to correct. And so, I thought the guys competed. They played hard, and it just didn't work out for them last night.
Now, is it more difficult to do a Giants game on the ManningCast than any other game?
I think so. You're just a little bit more emotionally attached to it. I feel like I react more to things, kind of put the head, the hands on the head, and I feel like I kind of get worried about that. I remember when I was playing, if my dad happened to be at the game and all of a sudden he had a bad play, and he reacts, and he was always worried about if we saw that, and he didn't want to have a reaction just to the bad plays. I kind of feel the same way. It's like I don't want to have some bad reaction and all of a sudden get to a player and they see it or get on me about something. So I try to root for him and be positive about what's going on with the Giants, and so it is a little bit different when I do a Giants game.
Have you seen any of the clips of Michael Irvin sweating while celebrating either last night on Twitter or this morning on First Take?
I have not. So it gets in your blood when you play for a team for as long as Irvin did or I did. I mean, you're involved and you're invested, and it becomes something that you're passionate about, and the coaches, the players, the ownership, and you root for them. I want them to win because I know how hard they've worked and the commitment they've done, and so you're just pulling for them so hard.
Is Dallas the second fan base behind Philadelphia that's most likely to make you give America the middle finger?
You know what? No one in Dallas ever gave me the middle finger, so I don't really feel the need to give it to them. And I wasn't giving it to Philadelphia. I was just reenacting what I saw, and so it was in context. I was nothing against Philadelphia. I was just saying when I'm there, this is how they greet me. I thought that's just how they say hello in Philadelphia, or hey, we're number one.
Was there a conversation the next day with ESPN about that?
There was a little conversation, and during the first commercial break, just said, hey, we got to apologize. Just make your apology. Let's just make you can kind of nip it in the bud right at the beginning, so it doesn't become an issue, or you have to issue an apology or a statement later on. So it's one of those deals. It just happened. It wasn't planned. Thought maybe there was a delay or they could blur it out, but obviously this was a new idea, and make some mistakes. I feel like I've learned from my mistake.
Well, that's good. Has your newfound love of fantasy football, has that affected any of the way you enjoy the games?
It has. It's changed a little bit about watching football, and really the neat thing, and almost in a better way. I'm in two different leagues. Some with just some pals, and another one with different pals and with a kid. So I'm playing in one league with my 11-year-old daughter, and she started watching and on the phone and kind of looking at teams, and she said last year, so she said, let's do a fantasy league, and I want these players on my team. She was adamant about having Tyreek Hill and Josh Allen, and she really liked Kelsey. We're watching, I think, that playoff game last year, and she's like, I want all these guys. These guys are awesome, and so so we have the draft, so we get to watch some games with her. She gets all fired up, and it's great. I think it's great for everybody involved, but really for for her, like, she's watched a ton of Giants games, but she didn't know a ton of other players. And this is getting her watching other players. Hey, who are we playing against? And she's watching those games, and she's talking with her buddies about, different players. And she's mentioning, Miles Sanders, and, talking about an Eagles player that she never would have, done that a couple years ago. So I think, fantasy football it's great for fans. It brings so many people to the game, and not just rooting for your favorite team, but rooting for a bunch of other players across the league, across all different conferences and divisions, and just getting people more knowledgeable about the players in the NFL.
So how did you get started playing fantasy football?
Just started the first year after I retired, and that first year, played and with ESPN and IBM, and to be honestly, I was not very good. I didn't really understand all the things about the draft and what kind of players you needed to draft. I was drafting my buddies. I was drafting a lot of Giants players, guys I played with. I was drafting, other guys that I had a friendship with, and it wasn't good for a lot of reasons. We weren't scoring a lot of points. I was also I was getting mad at my pals if they weren't playing well. Hey, I was telling guys, you got to get the coach to run the ball in the red zone more. I got to get you touchdowns, and vice versa, telling quarterbacks, hey, anytime you run the ball at the one, like, maybe just keep it and it's like do a bootleg and don't tell anybody and go run it in. So it wasn't good. So I've gotten better at that, kind of understanding. Keep this separate. Maybe don't draft guys that you're real close with. Hey, let's use all the features that IBM and Watson and AI to let's draft better, but also use the boom and bust and all the analytics to help get a better team. And I think that first year I definitely use some of the trade analyzers, to help, because I drafted so poorly, and definitely use that to get a better team and give me a chance as the season went along.
Are you playing for money?
No, it's all fun, all kind of. There's one that's a little charity donation involved, and just some bragging rights. So it's all pretty loose, but you do get you get fired up about it. And each week, at first I didn't think I would pay much attention to it. I never played while I was playing in college or the NFL, and so I didn't think I'd get so involved. But now, I'm looking each week, and I'm using all the features that IBM has, and I'm looking at the insights, and I'm looking, at injuries, or hey, who's playing this week, what's their defense, and so I'm trying to get a true assessment. And that's the great thing with the ESPN fantasy football app and IBM and Watson all coming together. You have the information, you have the data right there, and so whether it's looking at the boom bust and the potential of this person, all those features, I'm analyzing it, and I'm trying to put the best team out there.
I think I saw somewhere on TV that you're involved with a sports book, maybe once or twice during every commercial break. Do you ever get to gamble on football?
I haven't, and I think just for so long, I just didn't, and so I love watching football, but for me, it's about rooting for the guys that So I'm rooting for the quarterbacks. I'm rooting for the offense. These guys that I've met throughout the course of the year, and I want them to go out there and play well. And so that's how I get joy out of watching football. Hey, I'm watching a Giants game. I'm rooting for them to win. And but that's more personal, because I know the coaches, I know the players, I've played there, I know the ownership, I know how committed they are, and so I get joy of rooting for them and get for them winning. And so that's how I've always kind of watched football and get the joy out of it. So I want to keep it that way.
Okay. How do you go about picking the guests for the ManningCast?
Well, we try to get a former coach, or maybe a former player, get some sort of comedian, some entertainment, and then try to get a current player as well. And so sometimes we will have a current player lined up to come on, If they don't, play particularly well, or if they lose that Sunday before, we say, hey, let's kind of push it back another week. We want guys who are excited to come on. Things are going well. We've been in that position before. We would never want to go on a show after a loss and feel in a good mood. So we want guys who are upbeat, excited, and talk about a win. And so some of it is just from our personal relationships. We see guys throughout the off season and the season. Hey, I'd love to have you on the show. Some say sure, some say I don't know. So I think now the first year was a little tougher because people didn't know what it was, at first and what was happening. Now that people have seen it a little bit more, have a little better idea of what's going to happen, and we try to just be positive and talk about good things.
All right, last question, and I'll let you go. It's 8 p.m. on Monday. Your internet, your power goes out. Is Peyton's first phone call to your father, your brother, or Pat McAfee?
to fill in.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I'd say the power has been out before. We had a big storm last year. I lost. I could not see the game for a little bit, and all of a sudden I had to bring a phone out that was just on cellular, and it was delayed. I was like 5 seconds delayed, and I was just in there. I could hear what was going on with Peyton and the guests, but I had no access for what was happening in the game for a while, but managed to play through that. But to answer your question, I think McAfee's pretty good. He brings a lot of energy. I think he would have the setup. He would have the capabilities of kind of getting to a studio and getting in set, and would know how to carry the weight there.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
All right. Thank you.
All right.